It's been a crazy week so far, and I'm glad to join you once again with another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. Of course, amidst the brouhaha, amidst the noise, we bring to you an exclusive piece with someone who has seen it all and has indeed been in that very position. One of the gentlemen who is said to have engaged in one act or the other finds himself in. Of course, the story is still unfolding, so a lot more may happen as Anas Arimaya Anas continues to show that very explosive documentary, number 12. My name is Kwabena Chencheni Boating. I'm returning a GFU to introduce my guests for today. Stay with us. Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe has been FA president here in Ghana, and he has seen it all. Of course, he did hand over to Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, who is now in the news for all kinds of reasons. Of course, it's early days yet, so it will be premature for anyone to pass judgment on what really the situation is or is eventually going to be. But Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe is my guest, and we're going to speak on quite a number of issues. I'm glad to have him as my guest for today. Doc, good morning, and thanks for
good morning.
Thanks for having us today in your house.
It's a pleasure.
Really grateful to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Number 12. Has there always been a 12th man in this entire football fraternity? I mean, we all go in with the passion, with the love, but apparently there was an invisible hand somewhere. Is that the case?
Right down from Ohinijan's time, when I was just a little boy, we've had a lot of distinguished Ghanaians. Ohinijan all the line. Few names I can remember. H.P. Nyamite, I think S.K. Mino was there too. Akayinsu. These are very notable figures in society then. And what we saw at that time was discipline and pride. You can't discuss, or we never heard any of them talking about money. Now, what we see now is a bit strange. I personally was stunned when I saw some of the pictures. But you can see that it's been a recent culture, if I will use the word. Because when I left the FA, I didn't really follow what was going on there that much. But this particular expose by Anas tells me that there's a lot of road there, a lot.
You were FA president, you resigned at a point.
Yes, I did. And I remember what led to the resignation was that when I came in and took over from Ben Kofi, the late Ben Kofi, may he rest in peace. Ben whispered into my ears, he said, "Look, Doc, there is a lot of problem at this place." In fact, he named it a snake pit.
The GFA is a snake pit?
Yeah. And I laughed, because I knew whatever challenges they have there, I can surmount it. So I resumed work. And then within a short period, I noticed that Ben Kofi was right. Very short period.
So there were really snakes there?
Oh, yeah. So I said, look, I'm a Democrat, so let me do it democratically. Luckily, then I had a very good minister of youth and sports in the person of late Kojo Banredu. Okay. Very good minister. So we discussed it casually, and I told him I'll get a memo for him to have a look. If he agrees, there must be certain structural changes there. So Kojo gave me the green light. I prepared a memo. Then just before he even saw the memo, it got leaked. And then there was hue and cry from the executive committee there then. And all sort of swearings and everything possible. But I didn't really know them that much. So I took them to court. There was all this stress that you can't take the FA to court. I took them to court. It was ruled by the judge that they can be brought to court. I won the first case. The second case, they started maneuvering. I got really fed up. I must say, I didn't just get fed up. It's quite interesting what happened. I remember one time President Akufo called me. He said, Nyaho, you have been doing very well at this place. And lately, it appears there are some skirmishes, at that place. I said, oh, sir, this is what exactly is happening. So he said, okay. He called this man. I've forgotten his name. One of his advisors, who the Owusu-Ansah, late Owusu-Ansah. He called Owusu-Ansah and said, Owusu-Ansah should have a chat with me so that we can straighten things there. By then, the case was already in court. And I was determined to fight them. No. Unfortunately, Kojo Ban was removed from that ministry to finance. And Yaw Osafo Maafo was brought in as I've known Yaw very well. I thought we were going to have a very good coordination. But it turned out to be something different. Yaw, for lack of a better word, if I would say, was terrified. I think he was frightened about the executive council of the GFA. So he was trying to talk me out of the court case and even talk me out of the FA position. I got mad with him. He's alive, you can ask him. I was mad with him, left his office, banged the doors and left his office. Went straight to my consulting room, wrote a resignation letter, gave it to a messenger to be sent to them. In less than 2 hours, I had a call from BBC, and it was on the news. So this is what led to my resignation.
So you're saying Yaw Osafo Maafo?
Oh, yes.
He knew about the rot at the GFA at the time?
No, I'm not saying he knew about the rot. What I said was
he
that
was scared of it.
I thought, knowing him well, like the support I had from Kojo Ban Radio, I thought he could be very strong minister. So I would really change what is happening at the FA. He knew that there was a lot of rot there. That there's no doubt about it. He knew. But
he was not bold enough to.
He wasn't at all bold. And that's really surprised me. And what really made me mad was he was trying to talk me out of the case. Oh, leave them and But I remember one thing that President Akufo told me when he wanted to appoint me to this FA place. That was in Cape Coast. By then we had a regional meeting of the New Patriotic Party, National Congress really, but it took place in Cape Coast. So I was seated with President Akufo. I said, this place is a very, very difficult place, but I know football is nosediving, and with your experience, I'm sure you can get it up. I said, no problem. Then he said, don't go and play your old tricks. That's President Akufo. So I said, Kofi, what old tricks? Then he started laughing. He said, don't go and favor Accra House of Folk. I said, then you should not interfere when I'm working. And honestly, he gave me his promise, and he never interfered. That's President Akufo. But, to cut a long and short story, as I said, the FA has been there for years, since 1950-something, 1957 or so. Structures have been put up nicely, generation upon generation, until they got to our time. When I was appointed, Kwesi was my deputy. We worked very well. I have no problem with Kwesi at all. Till today, I don't have any problem with him. And then, of course, Kwesi was able to get himself to vice president of CAF, which is very good, very, very good for the country. And also, he has become, I think, FIFA
member of the FIFA executive.
Member of the FIFA executive. Another very good for the nation. Now, if you have been able to get to this level, what will, who at all on earth should be able to trick you to come that low again? But his problem was, Kwesi wanted to connect football with politics. This is where his problem started. If I had been close with him, I would have warned him.
But are they not connected? Many people seem to join the dots.
No. They can't be siblings. They can't be. And the way he went about it, I'm not surprised he failed.
How did he go about it?
No, but the exposure can tell you. If you even want to get close to political power, that's not the way he should go about it. But he wanted to give the impression as if he was part of the ruling government. Do you understand me? Yes.
But certain comments had been passed, particularly by the FA president, suggesting that in the erstwhile NDC government, life was hell for the FA executive members, particularly, and that things are better now that the NPP are in office. Can't anybody draw a reference there or an inference there to suggest that, okay, perhaps he may be closer to the echelons of power, that's how come he's making such claims?
No, I have no problem at all being close to the political power. But don't try to use that political power to gain favors. And that was what he was trying to do.
He was being greedy?
I won't say he was greedy. I said to gain favors. It wasn't necessary. Kwesi could have easily and genuinely got in touch with very good sponsors with real good money, not these pretenders. You follow me?
Yeah.
Yes. And what also surprised me was that it appeared, from what I see, that he was working independently from the executive of his own organization. And that was also very dangerous.
In your dealings with Kwesi Nyantakyi, who at the time you're saying was your deputy, did he come across as anybody who was desperate for power, for money?
No, I won't say so. But I've been asked this question on several occasions. When I was with him, himself and Fred Papo, the two of them were my best lieutenants. Kwesi didn't show any sign of inordinate ambition. I didn't say that, honestly. I think Kwesi parting ways with Fred Papo, for reasons not known to me, might have caused some of these things too. But they were so close, and Fred is an experienced, matured person, although they are of the same age. And I don't think if he had been close with Fred Papo, he would have got himself in this sort of problem. But Fred is a great thinker. So these are some of the sins. It's unfortunate. I really feel very, very sad for him. Where we've reached now with his case, nobody has been able, no court has come out with any sort of judgment on him. But if it had been me, I would have left the same.
In this scenario, for instance, I've heard a lot of justification by a lot of people who seem to not necessarily back Nyantakyi, but they seem to play a fair game, suggesting that if it's an inducement or you are entrapping me, I don't even want the money, but you are forcing me to get it.
No, I don't want to. I don't. These are things that should be discussed by lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. I heard one lawyer discuss this very interestingly on BBC. These are things that should be discussed by lawyers. You follow me? Because that's what I think they call agent provocateur. You follow me? So that's a method being used by the gentleman. Is it Anas? Eh?
Yes.
I have no problem with what he's doing. I have no problem at all. The only problem I have, not with him, but with his system, is that if you are able to do a very good work as an investigative journalist, for heaven's sake, that work is for the public, it's for the common man. Let the common man see it first. do not allow any other person to have a look at it. That's the only difference I have with him.
But
then one will know that it's authentic.
The president's name was mentioned, also we are told. His ministers' names were mentioned.
No, I don't care whose name is mentioned. It wasn't only the president who saw it. I'm told President Mahama who saw it. President Rawlings who also saw it. President Akufo-Addo also saw it. It is wrong. It is totally wrong. That alone tell you Anas can be compromised.
Really?
Don't ask me really. That's what I am thinking. Now, why should he release the tape to certain people? Now, if the president has been mentioned, what about the others? Were they mentioned in it? None of them was mentioned. But why should they also view it before the general public? And that is the only reason why I will never go there to have a look at that tape. But as far as I'm concerned, it's compromised.
That leads me to ask this very question. There have been a lot of attacks on the personality, the modus operandi of Anas and the like. Kennedy Japan, for instance, has gone all out saying Anas is a rogue, he is criminal, and most of his acts are acts of blackmail, extortion, and the like, questioning his character and his credibility as far as this particular documentary is concerned, and all his other documentaries are concerned. Would you go as far as suggesting that Kennedy may have a point?
I would not say so. Well, if somebody is doing a job and you feel the person is not doing the job correctly, come out and let us know exactly why you feel the person is not doing the job correctly. If it's suspecting, it should come out with facts.
Government is saying that they are taking steps to dissolve the Football Association. Now, I'm looking at the implications such a decision may have on our local football, and indeed football in Ghana generally. Would you say this is the right move, particularly at this time?
I would say the decision has been too hasty. If I were close to government, I would advise them to, to take their time a bit and see how, because the FA has a constitution, and see how the FA itself, there are a few people there still, in quote, clean ones, to see how they will be able to restructure the place. What has been done there is a form of coup d'etat. To come out with a fiat that you are dissolving them, no. I don't believe that is the right thing to do. I would have advised that they should be allowed to use their own statutes, as they call them, to see whether they can come out of this mess. However, all those who have been exposed by the investigation should be immediately sacked.
What does this mean for Ghana football?
FIFA, as I know, definitely will not be comfortable with such a development. That doesn't mean that they are back in wrongdoing. Let's get that straight. That's why I also say, maybe behind the scenes, if I were to be in government, I would have opened a channel with FIFA to brief them about the happenings here. And then what I have in mind of doing. It can be done. FIFA is an organization. You can talk to the head easily. They are very approachable. You follow me? That's what I would have probably done.
Information I've picked up so far suggests that once this thing is dissolved, as in the FA is dissolved, an interim committee will be set up, and they will be working by the government.
But that is where things will go wrong. Anyone who knows FIFA and its rules carefully will tell you. So, if the person is sincere. Okay. Because in this country, most people are not sincere.
So actually, the information that we have now suggests that the committee that will be set up will liaise with officials of FIFA to cleanse the system. Would that not be
I would have approached it the other way. I would have quietly have a connection with FIFA. Let them know what is happening. Whilst I wait for the FA itself, the executive here, to see how they can clean their own mess. You see, now, if you set up a committee, FIFA can say, we are not going to accept it. Yeah. It's very possible.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
But if you go there quietly, and it is done. This same Kwesi Nyantakyi came to power through a memo that I sent to FIFA, said Blatter. And that was what really caused the problem with me, between myself and the FA. That the leadership of the FA, my suggestion was that it should be elective. Even though I was appointed, I said no. But if it becomes elective, then you have some sort of democratic procedures there.
Some have suggested that that very situation we have now is the more reason why people who want to annex the presidency of the FA now have to look for money to campaign in a way. And that's, we should go back to the previous system where the president may nominate, say, 2 or 3 people. I mean, Kwabena Agyapong has suggested that he thinks it would be better if the president nominated about 2 or 3 people and then the FA decided on one of them as the president.
No. I remember, I know Kwabena very well. That to him is a good, he's been in football also for years. I don't think that is the right procedure. It's just like saying that, well, the FA democratic experiment started just recently. Kwesi has been in power for, I think, 15 years or so. 15. You follow me? Now, if at this stage you think it's a failure, it's just like saying that the new democratic dispensation that we have as a nation now, after a while we see that things are not going on, then we should go back to dictatorial regime. No, that one is dictatorial, what he's talking about. And I will not accept that. Let them pick their own leaders. I think you follow me?
Yeah.
They have, I keep on saying they have a constitution. The only thing wrong that they did was that the election of the leader was timeless. You follow me? And that was a big mistake. Why the lawyers didn't see through that, I'm surprised. Whether it should be either 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms. Fair enough. But you can run as you think fit.
There's no limit on...
No limit at all, which is very wrong. And that is what is worrying them also now.
When I was younger, I remember I used to go to the stadium at times to go watch football, and it was so lovely. The place was almost always packed. Even getting access to the stadium was a problem. Several years down the line, and since you left the scene, I would say, the standard, according to many, seems to have dropped so low. There's even not much to look forward to when the El Clasico, Kotoko, is playing Accra as a folk. I mean, how does that happen?
You see a person like Addo Damiti on the ball, central defender. I mean, these are people you have to watch because it's beautiful seeing them. You see a person like Amadou Akuse. You see a person like Agrifin. I mean, these are footballers with skills. We don't have them now. That's why people are no more interested. They prefer to watch European matches because the players with skills are there.
So you think it's about the lack of talent that you don't
Absolutely. That, you see, it's unfortunate. Maybe they don't have the films at the GBC. But let them show some of the films of the past Black Star footballers. Now we have a Black Star that you have to bribe your way to get in there. I mean, it has been shown. Do you understand me? So nobody will.
You don't think it's about management? Because indeed.
No. No, listen. Management. If management is able to organize a match to be played, that itself is enough.
I'm just looking at this. If it's about talent, of course, there were better players. There have been better players in Europe. They have left the scene. New ones have come. How was that done?
But if you watch also, theirs is continuous. Here, the spectator strength is dwindling. Do you understand me? So that tells you we have been pushing inexperienced small boys to Europe. Formerly, you get into a club, a young man, you get matured, you get experience before a club looks for you outside. But now, I think some of them even from second division, they travel to Europe. They become bench warmers, and when they get frustrated, they run around in Asia. And most of them, are there doing nothing.
Will Ghanaians ever find expressions of love for the sports we used to hold in high esteem so much? Will Ghanaians ever come back to loving football as much as we used to, particularly after all these things that have come?
Oh, they will. I don't think everything is lost yet. No. If we get talented footballers, as I've said earlier on, they will draw people to the game. In this country, you'll be surprised. If by tomorrow Kotoko gets about 2-3 talented footballers, has of folks similar thing, you see what will happen.
They say it's because we mismanaged football in Ghana. That's how come the coach system, for instance, is non-existent anymore. And that these same
what do you mean by
what
do you mean by we mismanage football in this country?
So football management in Ghana has not focused on developing talent. It's always been on just the elites. And indeed, many of these people who manage these who find themselves in management positions at the FA are people who have their own academies, for instance. So would rather have the people come to their academies and then they can sell them off to some club somewhere in Europe and make some more money, rather than their main objective is to make money, not to develop serious talents. Do you understand me? Because even if he gets 100,000 cities, some even less, he pushes the boy away when the boy is not really matured. Do you understand me? So the so-called football managers who have brought us into this sort of situation, I will not put much of the blame on the GFA. You follow me? The GFA maybe can control it, but you can't force the boy to stay. It's been we've taken a detour. We've spoken a lot about sports and about the FA and the like, but you're also a politician, and you used to be very, very vociferous. You used to criticize your very own members of the NPP, and some say
I was criticizing Rawlings a lot.
Yes, I remember that as well.
We had a big battle of Rawlings in those days. Myself, Samoa brothers, and some of the guys I don't even. Kwashiga and others.
What many people say is that if you're able to criticize your own, then of course you should be able to criticize anybody and everybody. And that's one of the attributes a lot of people say you had. And you were very forward-looking and tried as much as possible to say things as they were. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You've criticized the president on several occasions. I mean, when he was even flag bearer, or when he was a flag bearer hopeful, up until now.
I was one of his closest allies. If you go into...
You and Akufo-Addo?
Then you don't know MPP.
No, I didn't know you were that close to him.
You see myself and Ali Mahama there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture of myself and Addo.
Oh. How come that is not on your wall?
Oh, I have it. I have it.
You're not showcasing that?
I have it. I definitely have it. I have it. I can show it to you later. Or it might be on one.
Are you on terms with him now?
I have no problem with him. The only time we had, I won't call it misunderstanding, the only time I took a step back was when the former elected chairman of the party was how do you call it, suspended.
Are you talking about Paul Afoko?
Paul Afoko. And also the suspension of Kwabena Ajapong. And that almost immediately followed that of Sammy Crab. I mean, these are elected figures. People voted for them. And I believe if you want to get rid of them, I mean, there's a way you can do that. We have a constitution.
You think Akufo-Addo wanted to get rid of them?
No, but don't ask me whether I think he wanted to get rid of them. The people are no more in their seats.
But that was a
And
decision
I was not the cause of it. You see?
That was a decision taken by the party, not by Akufo-Addo.
Now listen. You see, that is where you young ones cannot get anywhere with this sort of attitude. You have to fix facts. When it is wrong, it is wrong.
But what are the facts of the
You follow me?
Because
now, if I am the leader of the party, Nana-Addo was the leader of the party then. Flag bearer and leader of the party. If he found anything wrong with them, or he didn't find anything wrong with them, they wouldn't have been dismissed, or they wouldn't have been suspended. Don't talk as if you are talking to a small boy. I know. Listen to me. Mm-hmm. He was the leader of the party. You follow me?
He wouldn't have gone through with the decision without his consent.
Absolutely. I mean, people who have been elected, Afoko, Kwabena Jepun, Crab, and even it's followed that people from other regions or regional constituencies were also suspended.
That's true.
As I speak to you now, I'm a suspended member of the party.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
You follow me? But that really doesn't bother me because there are a lot of others. And I know there are people in the party who are not comfortable with it. I know. There are a lot of elderly people who are not comfortable with it. But they are not talking about it, surprisingly.
Why are they not talking?
I don't know. We have always been pretending in this country. Pretending. When the thing is bad, say it's bad. We keep on pretending. And by doing that, we fool our leaders. They think they are doing well. Look at what happened with the NDC, I don't know, June 4th. I mean, a whole person, a lady, to go and kneel before somebody, begging him. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Sycophancy.
Even the sycophancy, that's the word.
Anita De Soso was just being
sycophancy. And what was even interesting is that the person you want to plead with had his what do you call it, face somewhere. He wasn't even looking at you. Sycophancy at the highest level. That is what is creeping into our society, and it is dangerous. If we are not able to say, look, you are wrong. Now look at the way they behave. Look at the sort of attacks what Trump has been having from his own party members. Unbelievable. Can that happen in this country?
You think that leaders want to be above reproach, particularly in specific reference to Nana Akufo-Addo? He doesn't want to be criticized?
No, I'm not going to sort of talk about Nana-Addo. That has been the habit of most of our leaders.
Is he an exception?
There's no exception.
He's not an exception?
You say who is not an exception?
Nana Akufo-Addo is not an exception?
No. Listen, I said our leaders, maybe right down from independence, have been behaving the same way. They don't want to be told, look, you are going wrong here, come this way. They got annoyed. Right down from Nkrumah's time. There are certain ministries that have been created that I thought were not necessary.
Which ministries are these?
One, for instance, Ministry of Zongo Affairs, or what do you call it?
Zongo Development.
Zongo Development is not necessary. It can be put on that. What do you call it? Under one of the ministries. And if the minister is good, he will cover everywhere. Right now, I don't even know whether the minister has an office. I don't even know. You know, and these things are a bit disturbing, but unfortunately, if you talk about it, it appears as if you are against them. So
that's why you stopped talking?
Oh, no one can stop me from talking. But if you mention it once, it's enough. Do you follow me?
But do they listen when you speak?
I don't know.
Because you have a lot of experience, and
I don't know.
You've been with them for a long time.
I know the party. As a party, I know the party very well. I know the party. And
so do they listen to you? Do they even seek your counsel at all?
No, what I'm saying is that I can probably talk. I will say what I feel it should be. They have a right to accept or not to. You follow me? I don't have to go there and talk to anybody. There are a lot of people, they can take advice from this country who are probably better than me in thinking. Do you understand me? So, when somebody is governing, that's what I have noticed in Africa. It's a big difference from when he's in opposition. It's quite clear. So allow him to govern, or allow them to govern.
So at the end of the day, we'll judge them based on their own decisions. Over
Absolutely, and their performance.
Will you ever, in the interest of Ghana and the NPP, work with another than Akufo-Addo?
I've seen a lot in politics. Politics is not my profession. I'm a physician by profession. I take politics as an occupation. Do you understand me? So I can leave it anytime I choose.
Are you leaving?
I say I can leave it anytime I choose.
Are you leaving?
So I have decided not to be on the front line of politics anymore. That's why you don't see me on the front line.
So you can be maybe on, how do we call it, Council of Elders or something?
No, I can rather be. I'm not a member of the Council of Elders, and I don't want to be a member of the. You see, where you have a situation where you cannot express your views openly, I don't want to get into those type of groups at all.
I think members of the Council of Elders currently cannot express.
That's not what I'm saying. Don't suggest that to me either. Do you understand me? Yeah. I know myself that if there's a leader and it's going wrong, I would like to say it. Do you understand me? And that is done in a lot of civilized countries. But unfortunately for us, it doesn't happen that way in Africa. Anywhere in Africa, almost the same.
Look, thank you so much for your time today on 21 Minutes with KKB. Dr. Nyaho Nyaho-Tamakloe has been our guest on 21 Minutes with KKB, and indeed some very revealing things we've heard on the show today. I'm particularly interested in that portion where there appears to be a number of snakes on the GFA. I don't know whether they are still there and whether they have enough venom in them to
you'll be true
at this particular point in time. But whatever the case may be, we are still following developments keenly as far as that expose by Anas, Yaw Anas, is concerned. My name is Kwabena Chenchen. Thank you for your company. I'll see you soon, hopefully with another guest you're expecting.